Hi, I got a special Christmas season review with Aaron. The bourbon barrel aged barley wine that Hill Farmstead does every once in a while. I waited in line for this beer longer than any other beer, I believe, and paid basically more money for this than any other beer, but it's supposed to be extremely good and special and everything. This one was aged in bourbon barrels for 2 years. So yeah, it says right on there, vintage 2015, bottled May 2017. Never had this one before, never had any barley wines from Hill Farmstead. This might be the only one they do, I'm not totally sure on that. They don't tell you the alcohol content, no one lists it anywhere, but I'm guessing it's around 12%. We'll see if I still think that after I taste it. I put it in my fridge a couple hours ago. It's gotten maybe a tad too cold, but I'm going to sip and savor this one. So I'm sure it'll warm up over time. There's not really not much else to say. I guess I bought this like a month and a half ago. I think it was the week they released it. This didn't sell out for a couple weeks. And there's a little bit of stickiness on the cap there, because I'm sure it's going to be a real sticky beer. This vintage has been getting just as good ratings as the last few vintages. This light is really bright. I'm going to see if I can fix this. Let's see. No. Well, let's do it. I do enjoy a nice, sweet English style barley wine. I'm not into the American style. See if I can warm this up and aerate a little bit first. Some good carbonation in this, but the American style just has a lot of American hops and it's really bitter, like Sierra Nevada Bigfoot. Don't really like that, but I like the English style ones that are more sweet and malt forward, and that's what this one is, I assume. It's pretty dark. This is hard to see through, actually. It's so dark. I can smell it quite a bit. It has actually a little bit of a savory, leathery element to it, I'm noticing. It's not going to be all sweet, but it's definitely not going to be a citrusy, piney American hop thing at all. Wow, not much booze in that nose, though. Yeah, the bourbon's bringing out lots of nice vanilla coconutty sort of things. Brown sugary. Yeah, it smells good. It doesn't smell like it's going to be too sweet, though. Very woody. Yeah, 2 years in barrels is a very long time. And I think it's all barrel-aged beers. No blending or anything. Yeah. And they just say bourbon barrels from some of our favorite distilleries. There's a sweet tobacco, pipe tobacco, like when you go into a pipe tobacco store or walk by some place that sells that. It has that nice sweetened tobacco aroma. There's so many different caramelized flavors. Lots of Maillard reaction happened definitely in the brewing of this beer. It has ample carbonation. You can see it on the side of the glass pretty easily there. Looks good. It's gonna probably keep it from being too syrupy in the mouth. Well, lots of nice, deep, dark, woody flavors, nutty. Yeah, there's some hazelnut sort of things going on, almost almond in the way that it has a little bit of a bitter, woodier type thing rather than like sweet, nut flavoring, coffee type nuts. And just a hint of some sweet dark fruit, for like pruny, like dried fruits more. Prunes and raisins. Actually, quite a bit of that. It's like rum-soaked raisin and stuff like that. I think it is still a little bit cold, but there's a lot to be had in this. It's not bursting out of my nose with boozy sweetness, but there's a lot of nice aromas in there for sure. I have some sweetness, not really rich and thick. It's not like a Bourbon County barley wine. Mm. Wow. The lingering, nutty, coconutty caramel flavor is intense. The caramel flavor is really where it actually tastes a lot like really high quality caramels and caramel fudge almost. Wow. And the body isn't really syrupy and thick. Yeah, the carbonation keeps it from being overly sticky. The raisins are in there still. It does have plenty of body though. It's heating up the back of my throat now. Yeah, it's definitely like at least 12%. It might be a little bit stronger, but there's no booze in the flavor or the aroma really. Yeah, that's really nice. But like this is all that I'm gonna need. I get the idea of this beer pretty quickly. Oh, it's got sweet spices too, not cinnamon, but like nutmeggy maybe. Yeah, it is pretty rich and thick, but not syrupy. Like when you drag it over your tongue and push your tongue through it, it's like, oh wait, that's got some dense body to it. You might call it chewy, but it's not like an actual, you know, like I guess like a caramel syrupy type thing. It's not like the bourbon counties that are really crazy sweet. It doesn't have that, but it packs in more complexity, I would say, more barrel character. The bourbon isn't overwhelming as just straight bourbon flavor, which is what's cool. Maybe it has to do with that 2 years in the barrel. It gets all the bourbon flavors out, but some of them kind of dissipate maybe and turn into other things. It has just every single dark plant flavor you can imagine in here. Chestnuts, I don't even know what chestnuts taste like exactly. There's lots of figs in this. Almost like a rye spice. They don't tell you at all about the ingredients, and it's kind of a mystery, this beer, which is kind of cool though. Really easy to sip. Almost has a sherry-like thing going on, though it doesn't have, but it's not buttery. There's no oxidation. That's one thing I should say too, is that this beer is really old. It was sitting in barrels for so long, but I'm not getting any weird wet paper type thing. It does have some root beery flavors, but I think that's mostly just from the ingredients in the bourbon barrel aging. Sometimes with some really aged beers that are starting to oxidize, it tastes a lot like root beer, but this doesn't have that kind of root beer flavor. It's more of like a spicy sarsaparilla or something. Whew. Wow. Look, it has a really nice head sticking around there. And the tannins from the barrels are just enough to dry it out. Though it is very sweet forward, I'm feeling a little bit of a sensitivity in my teeth from how sweet it is. But I'm just not used to drinking beers this big and sweet. I usually don't do that. But I've had many more that are much sweeter. This is really nice. Barleywine isn't my favorite style. I was in the mood for it today, so I cracked this one open. It's really very good. Probably the best barley wine I've ever had, because it doesn't have any of the rough edges that you get from barley wines or barrel aged barley wines. The booze and the bourbon. It's not overwhelming with bourbon flavor. It's really all well integrated together into a really awesome, nutty, tobacco-y, dark, fruity experience. I don't have to ever drink a barley wine again, I guess, after this one. I give it a really good rating. I wouldn't give it a rating up there with my favorite beers of all time, because it's just not a style that's ever gonna make me lose my mind or anything. But it's very nice. This is one to share with several people, and savor this beer. You can tell that it's got lots of love and masterful brewing in the bottle there. Well, goodbye. Happy holidays.